iFILM, London. iFILM.
This is Coogan Cassius for iFILM London. We're at the Nottingham Arena here in Nottingham. With me I've got promoter Eddie Hearn. Eddie, satisfactory night for you and your fighters tonight?
Great night. You know, a lot of different things happened in the night. Bellew was buzzing in the first, second round. All of a sudden, a cut that looks like could potentially harm his career. You know, in terms of losing that fight, I didn't think he'd possibly get through that, and then boxed beautifully to get the job done. Yafai is just going to be a world champion. That's all I can say about him. Cardle was impressive. You know, and FROCH was just phenomenal. I mean, just getting better and better, and he just tore Yusuf MACK to shreds. I expected MACK to actually win the early rounds because he's very fast and elusive, but Carl is, like I said, getting better and better. Hand speed, punch power, and the body shots that he finished him with were just brutal. Great atmosphere as well. I mean, you know, it's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Were you slightly concerned for Tony Bellew? Obviously, had to fight a good 9-10 rounds with that cut. Mick Williamson done a phenomenal job in the corner, but there was always the worry that even though he was winning every round, that if it got really bad, that you know it could have gone the other way for him.
Of course, and when the referee said that it was caused by a blow, all of a sudden you lose the fight if the fight stops. You know, I felt sick because I saw the cut and I knew how bad it was, and Mick Williamson done an unbelievable job. You know. He's getting a little Brucey bonus for Christmas because he stopped the bleeding. That was key. You know, the ref looks at the cut. You can see it's a bad cut, but if there's no blood, it's very difficult to stop it unless it, you know, starts affecting the vision. It's a brutal cut, and you know he boxed beautifully to get through that. And you learn from these kind of things. You know, I mean, he only boxed 10 weeks ago. I've booked the Echo Arena for February 23rd. It's going to be touch and go, but I just want to keep all of our fighters as busy as possible. It's going to improve them so much, particularly the younger guys. And you know, Tony's still a relative novice. You know, and now he's going to be top 3 in the WBC, and I think they'll probably put him forward for a final eliminator.
Can you get FROCH Kessler City Ground?
Yeah, you know, there's a lot that needs to happen financially to make that happen. Needs to be a box office fight. I believe it warrants a box office fight. Same with Andre Ward. You know, Andre Ward's tweets, and I think Andre Ward wants this Carl Froch fight now because you look at the other opponents for him, the fights, and the American broadcasters are going to want that fight really bad because that's the great fight in the division, as is FROCH Kessler. You know, yeah, we can make it happen. We've got Adonis Stevenson as well. He's the mandatory. We've got Lucian Butte fight. We've got Kessler's fighting McGee in December. That could be a fight for all the titles. Ward could be a unification fight as well. So many fights for Carl Froch. But what was quite pleasing tonight is that he went in there, got a fantastic reception, did an unbelievable job, and he's come out like, oh, I feel great. You know, normally it's the hand sore, the ribs broken, or the eyes cut. You know, and he deserves one of those nights. You know, and I think that's probably his last easier fight because the rest from here look very difficult. But I believe he's improving in a way to win them.
I just want to touch on some comments that were made by Carl Froch in the press conference about Frank Warren's column in The Sun. What's the situation with that? What was actually said? Because I haven't actually seen it myself.
I mean, it just happens every week. Listen, he's a bitter man, and listen, we do these interviews with you, and I tend to say something, or he tends to say something. It's very, very boring. Support British boxing. Support British fighters. Do the right thing by fighters. All I tend to hear on Twitter is his fighters upset, moaning about various different bits and pieces, normally involving finance. Speak to my fighters. Tell me if they ever moan once. But listen, we've been there, we've done that. If you can't support British fighters, keep your mouth shut. Because at the end of the day, I support all British fighters. Doesn't matter if it's Cleverly, Burns, Mitchell, Froch, Bellew, Reese. We're all in this together. We've got to try and grow the sport. And, you know, it's disappointing when he attacks someone like Carl Froch, who I believe has given his heart and soul to this sport for Britain. You know, and to stand there and try and pick holes in what he's achieved and the opponents he's fought is disgusting. You know, and again, to look at some of his fighters' resume, it's not about that. It's about Carl Froch. The man deserves respect. He's fought the very best time and time again. He's a 3-time champion of the world. And like I said, he gives his life and soul to the sport, so don't disrespect him, you know, by trying to pick holes in a guy who everybody loves and everyone's got a ton of respect for, because he's given everything to the sport and he is a true British great, no doubt about that, you know. And again, I don't get involved in all that silly stuff. Listen, people can say what they want. When you're in a sinking ship, you say silly things, and we just keep cracking on, keep making the fighters happy, keep giving them the opportunities, keep filling out stadiums, keep trying to make great fights, and keep people happy. Let people leave the arena with a smile on their face, and I believe everyone in the arena tonight left with a smile on their face.
Are you satisfied with Cardle and Yafai?
Yeah, it's so difficult with Yafai because he's so good. You know, you put him in with a guy who's fought for the Italian bantamweight title. He's done 10 rounds 3 times. You speak to the Italians and they say he won't stop. You know, this guy, and then one brutal body shot and it's all over. Cardle was great, his opponent was tough, scrappy, but at first 8 rounds for him. Callum Smith was phenomenal, Martin Ward was great. We've got the best team, you know, we've got these fighters coming out of this GB setup, they're world level prospects, you know, and they're showing so much potential already, and I'm blessed to have them on our team. I'm going to push them all the way. I'm going to get every ounce out of the ability they've got, and I'm going to give them every opportunity to succeed in the sport. And you know, already within that team of 5 or 6 fighters, I know we've got a handful of world champions. And it's going to be a lot of fun taking them on the journey.
More importantly than Carl FROCH, James Helder made his debut at York Hall yesterday. A valiant draw.
Controversial draw.
Controversial draw, I can say that, yeah. But,
do you know what? Listen, anyone who gets through the ropes, and I've done it myself, Billericay Amateur Boxing Club, 3 fights, absolutely horrendous. But I gave it a go, and you can't buy the buzz. You know, I was useless, but I put on the vest, put on the head guards, and had a go, and it was brilliant. And for James as well, you know, and for any young kid out there or any parent whose young kid is a little bit disruptive or needs a little clip round the ear, the best thing you can ever do is send them down the local boxing club, because the discipline and respect you gain down there is like no other, you know. And fair play to Helder, you know. I mean, listen,
you'll see the footage tomorrow on iFILM London.
What was it like?
Yeah, well, listen, like I said, of his own admission, he lost the fight. He was given a draw, but listen, people can make their own minds up. But
who did he fight?
A guy called John Henry from Chelmsford, who probably had double the experience. If James had 3 months in the gym, the fella probably had 6 months in the gym. So
I think it's great. Listen, he's lost 3 stone. He looks great. You can't buy the buzz of getting, you know, that intensity of getting in a ring with another man, and especially when you haven't done it before.
And he walked out to, "Why did you Google me?"
Did he? Oh dear. Well done, James Elden. I'll take my hat off to him.
Do you know what? I keep calling everyone a mug.
Yeah, you called me a mug on Twitter the other night out of the blue, and
do you know what? Listen, I'll tell you why.
It wasn't really funny because people were tweeting me saying, "Why is he calling you a mug?" And I didn't actually know.
Do you know what? Because that day we were going, "Oh, you mug! Oh, you're trying to mug me off" and all that in your office, right? Yeah. Because that, and I just saw you late night on Twitter, and I thought, mug. But listen, tonight I've called Bellew a mug, and I've called FROCH a mug as well.
Like, you're going to get it ironed out. That's what's going to happen. You want
to make an apology to everyone.
The best fighters in the world a mug.
Yeah,
you know,
Tony Bellew, Carl FROCH, and you.
I was going to say with your muggy shoes on, but they're not too muggy tonight.
Ralph Lauren,
muggy iFILM London polo shirt. You're going to get ironed out.
Oh,
you know.
All right. Brentwood Massive.
Yeah, apparently.
That's what. Yeah, you're the Brentwood Massive.
Billericay Massive.
I'm Wickford Massive anyway.
It's all good.
Right, this is Coogan Cassius with Eddie Hearn.
Smug promoter.
Smug promoter. He is smug. You know you're smug, man.
You keep calling. Do you think I'm? I mean, you've always called me smug. I don't really think I'm smug.
You put the mug in smug.
Or you put the smut in mug.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I'm not a smug promoter. I'm a happy promoter because it's going great. You can't buy that. You know, when you stand, that walk on was great tonight with the lights, and when you stand at the bottom and you look round and there's not one seat available and everyone is cheering. Oh man, and it's because Carl deserves it so much, you know. And when you see him standing on there with 10,000 people calling his name, you know, you can't buy it.
Just the last thing I want to say. So this thing about the charity fight between you and Frank Warren Promotions or whoever, is that all farcical?
Do you know what? Someone asked me in an interview, "Oh, you should have a fight with Frank Warren." I said, "Don't be silly, he's too old." I said, "He should fight my old man." And then they said, "Oh, what about his sons?" I said, "Look, I'm 6'5" and 16 stone. They'd have to both get in at once." And then it was like, I mean,
no, because I saw a tweet from the Frank Warren thing, like referring to as the Brentwood Massive and a little bit of banter going, but I didn't know whether it was a serious thing or a bit of banter.
We're all out of shape chumps, aren't we? I mean, look at, you know.
Don't refer to me there. You're talking about yourself.
You're an overweight chump and all. We're all overweight
chump.
You know, they say 2 donkeys make a great race. I'm calling you out, mug, for a charity fight, and you keep shirking it. So don't start palming off me with other opponents.
Look at his street talk now. He's not on Sky Sports. He's on iFILM London giving all the street talk.
By the way, earlier on, Coogan Cassius, he's saying, oh, just because your Sky mates aren't here, and Adam Smith walked out the door, and you should have seen him.
No, but what did I say?
Hello, Mr. Smith. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Go away. I never
Cassius.
said that at
All
all.
right,
That never happened at all.
Big time Charlie's going off here. Anyway, come on, let's go.
This is Coogan Cassius with Eddie Hearn for iFILM London. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, muck.
Love.